Mike Tyson used to train with people who were bigger, faster, stronger, harder than the guy he was about to fight. And listen, the reason he used to do this was to make so that by the time that he would get to the fight, it would seem easier, right? He's just done 12 weeks, a hard camp of sparring, of fighting people who were tougher than the guy he was about to fight, all right? Now, David Goggins also spoke about this. He did a ultra marathon and then he went and did a marathon, a normal marathon, right? He ran 100 miles and then like a couple of weeks later, he ran a marathon. Now, in his mind, his body wasn't ready for it, but in his mind, something switched, he said something switched in his mind, and he thought to himself, just before he was about to run this marathon, he said, well, I've just done 100 miles, so what is 26 miles to me now, all right? And this is the exact philosophy, and this is the exact mindset we as men, as fathers, entrepreneurs, as leaders of our life, of our business, this is things that we can implement into our own life, all right? And this is one of the key philosophies we use in the Self-Created Man, is doing hard things makes life easier and doing easy things makes life harder, right? Now, every single man I speak to implements this, their life dramatically changes, all right? Now, society has conditioned us to be weak, okay? To seek comfort, to seek cheap dopamine, yeah? Drink, drugs, alcohol. We feel stressed, we avoid, we distract, we numb. And we seek that easy way out, okay? And by constantly seeking the comfort, the donut, the lines, the beer, we avoid doing anything hard. And actually, we've been conditioned to think that doing hard things is somehow bad, okay? And anyone who does do hard things or puts any sort of effort in is obsessive or overworking or crazy, or all these sort of things that people like to label those who stick their head above normality, crabs in a bucket syndrome. And that exact principle is what we can apply as men to our life, yeah? We've got a big decision in business to make, we're stressed, there's conversations that are hard that we don't want to do, and this is where we can purposely do hard things to make other things easier, okay? And the quickest and easiest way to do this is 100% exercise, right? If you go and do a 6-mile run, a 10-mile run, if you go and train an hour and a half at Muay Thai, you go do some sparring, you go do something difficult, all right? Do 5 minutes in an ice bath. You do not want to fucking do that, yeah? Your mind is telling you to get out, seek comfort. Why are you doing this, James? You don't need to do this. Like, what are you doing? All these sort of things in your mind. And that exact mental pattern, that side of your voice that seeks comfort, that's the side that comes up when you are trying to make difficult decisions or important decisions in life, in business, in relationships, when you don't want to have the hard conversation and your mind says, oh, don't worry about it, just leave it, like we can just let it go, only to kick the can down the road, and a year, 10 years later, 5 years later, you're having more arguments because you decided to choose comfort over discomfort in the present moment, but knowing that in the long run it would be beneficial for you, right? And this is what we do. This is how we strengthen that self-trust, that inner authority, the trust in ourselves, all right? By doing the things we don't want to do early, especially early in the morning, all right? Getting up on time. No one wants to get up on time. Everyone wants to be in bed, in a nice, comfortable bed. It's warm. You got your missus there. Why would you want to get up at 5? Why would you want to get up early in the cold, go for some exercise, do the things you don't want to do? That's because it's making life easier, all right? As I said many, many times, when we wake up, once we get into the world, 9, 10 o'clock, we get out and we're dealing with clients, we're dealing with partners, we're dealing with kids, we're dealing with the stresses of life, things going wrong, just the inevitability of life, right? Now, if we are not prepared for that, if we've not tuned our instrument, our mind, our body, our emotions, our soul, our consciousness, then we're going to be reactive, right? And when we're reactive, we're stressed, we're in fight or flight mode, we don't think clearly, we're in survival mode, we're not creative, and that affects our energy, right? We show up in a less than positive attitude, we're more negative, the overthinking negative loop, we are stressed, we're anxious, we're worried, we're fearful, and that has all come because we decided to seek comfort. Now, obviously there's other rippling effects to that when you're trying to seek comfort from stress, from anxiety, from fear, from worry. You drink, you do drugs, you eat shit, you don't look after yourself, and then physically you start to feel that. But mentally is what I'm talking about as well, right? And it's something really key part of your brain, in fact, is called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, which is an area of your brain which is responsible for willpower. Okay, it is the seat of your willpower, the will to live. Now, this gets strengthened every single day, and it is only gets strengthened when we use it. Okay, so when we do things that we don't want to do, this part of our brain actually grows. This anterior mid-cingulate cortex, responsible for willpower, the will to live, actually grows when we do the things we don't want to do, the hard things, all right? So getting up early when we don't want to get up early, or running when we don't want to run. All of these different things, this is growing that part of our brain that is responsible for willpower, okay? So if you're depressed, you're anxious, you're worried, you're fearful, all these sort of things, then that's part of your brain, if you've not been using it, has been shrinking. Okay, and this is not something that you grow and then you just stop and it's there forever. This has to be done every single day, okay? You have to constantly put yourself back into the things you don't want to do to strengthen yourself, okay? And the longer that we stick to the comfort, the smaller this part of our brain gets, the smaller our willpower is, and then it makes life a lot harder to do these things, okay? It's struggle, we're not decisive, we're anxious, we're fearful, we're worried, and it's a snowball effect, all right? That shows up in your relationships, it shows up in your business, you don't make as much money, you're more stressed, you're having more arguments, all these different things, and it's a snowball effect. And where did that all come from? It's because we seek comfort and we didn't do the hard things. We didn't do the things we didn't want to do, but we know they are good for us, right? Eating clean, choosing to eat a steak and egg over a donut, all right? Choosing to have an early night rather than going out. These are things that we don't want to do. They might be hard, they might be difficult, but they grow that part of our brain that is responsible for willpower, right? Now, implement this into your life, guys. I promise you, this is something that all of the guys in the Self-Created Man implement. This is something that I've implemented over the last 10 years, and it's drastically changed my life, all right? The second we start focusing not on running away from the pain, running away from the hardship, the difficulties, but actually focus on it and face it. Yes, I think Ryan Holiday says it in his book, The Obstacle is the Way. It's a stoic practice, okay? Whatever is in front of you, that is the way to go, right? Not avoid it, not go around it, not hide from it, not distract from it, not numb from it, but face it, okay? Once we face it and we start taking action to change that situation, or we start facing action and doing the things we don't want to do, life becomes easier, okay? Life becomes easier. It is contradictory, but I promise you, check it out, try it in your own life, all right? Now, that concludes our self-development walks for today. Okay, I hope that helps you guys keep on with the path, okay? Day in, day out, 1% better each day. And yeah, action, okay? Even if you don't feel like doing it, even if you don't want to do these things, knowing full well that once you do it, that part of your brain's growing, you're going to get more energy, get more momentum, and things slowly start to improve, all right? 1% better each day, guys. Hope you have a fantastic day. Like, subscribe, give us a comment, let me know your thoughts, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Peace.